Hi, I'm Jordan Mishgallen, answering the question, what is the most important lesson to teach our children? Let me start out by saying there's just so many thoughts that were zipping around my head when I was writing this, sort of like cars careening through traffic lights and whipping down side streets, each thought with its own agenda and pace and destination, and it was hard to sort of bring them together. But nonetheless, I will say that um, as a basic principle, we need to teach our children to treat everything with open-minded skepticism. We need to empower them to think critically for themselves, to make their own judgments and decisions, and to know that they are responsible for enacting change in themselves and our society. We need to be honest and open about this opinion, and we need to allow them to reject it if they think otherwise. I believe that if we hold people to high standards, they will rise to them. I also believe that personal freedom is the most important right to be protected and respected. Respect, positive growth, and conflict resolution comes from understanding, while contempt and contention comes from ignorance. I think that if we teach people to be simultaneously open-minded and skeptical, of all of our lives would be better, we would grow as a society, and we would be happier people. Whether we like it or not, we are teaching values to the current and future generations in our schools and in our media. While parents still endow their children with many values, consider the sheer amount of time spent in school, with friends, watching TV, searching the net, etc. How can we ignore their power to color our perceptions? No matter how hard they may try to be objective, they cannot avoid espousing some values. Right now, our public education system churns out good factory workers. The most successful students are not the ones who analyze and criticize and think creatively. They're the best regurgitators of their teachers and textbooks. They're not encouraged to have opinions of their own, and they're not respected as individuals on their own right. Scientific objectivism reigns supreme. Of course, I've only grown up in one public education system, so I can't speak for everyone. But from my conversations with friends from all over the US, this is epidemic. The system makes about as much sense for our current world as a scuba diver playing saxophone on the moon. And pretty much, in many ways, it's equally effective. We live in a constantly changing world where adaptability, innovation, and interpersonal networks are of the utmost importance, so these need to be emphasized in schools. We live in an interdependent and shrinking global village, so we need to eschew our intense emphasis on individuality. I was one of the most successful students throughout grade school, so why wasn't I encouraged to tutor some of the less successful? Kids should be teaching each other. It would be empowering and create a sense of community. For example, we would not need to have all these social welfare programs if we were taking care of problems on our own with private, non-governmental organizations. We can encourage this by giving our kids the opportunity to experience what it feels like to help each other out. Then they can decide for themselves whether or not they want to pursue that lifestyle. I don't think that this open-minded skepticism is a panacea for the world's problems, but I do think it's a great start. If we encourage everyone to think for themselves and they know their optimism and their opinions have merit, we'll sort things out individually. Even this open-minded skepticism should be examined critically. It is itself closed-minded towards a trusting closed-mindedness. I prioritize respectful and critical thinking over other modes of thinking. I think we should always acknowledge our biases and open them for public debate. So, let me know what you think. That's why I wrote this very commentary and why I'm sharing it with you in video form, to open up my bias towards skeptical, open-minded, and public debate. Thanks. See you next time.